Hi Gemini, this is Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot. I am in Carmel, Indiana. I am a Libra Sun, Capricorn Rising, Sagittarius Moon. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you have been here before, then welcome back. And you know what I normally do is I let flip, fly, or fall anywhere from 5 to 7 tarot cards. I feel like I have a hair on me. I take a look at that energy. Are we looking at love, life, career, health, whatever, and then clarify with various oracle cards. First card out is the Hermit. Seems like there's been a lot of people in hermit mode lately. I was one of those, and I had some emotions coming through me and out of me that I don't know where they come from and where. 8 of Swords. Lot of thoughts going on here. And I think that's where the hermit mode, the hermit mode can be helpful and the hermit mode can be hurtful. When you're in hermit mode, you're usually all up in your thoughts and thinking. Depending on what you're thinking of, it can be good or bad. So let's see if while you were in the hermit mode and you were thinking about a whole lot of stuff, was it good or bad? I feel like that wants to come out. The Fool in reverse. So you apparently have been deep in thought about starting something new, but you are not ready to jump off that cliff yet because the Fool ended up in the reverse position. So what else is going on here with you Geminis? At the moment, what's going on with the Geminis? What's going on with Geminis? Ace of Wands, again, something you're wanting to, okay. You are deep in thought about starting something new or ending or starting something new. Because we've got the Fool in reverse and we've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. And you're deep in thought about it, but for whatever reason, something's stopping you. Ace of Cups. That's a beginning. Okay. So this feels to me like you are wanting to start a new relationship with somebody. This kind of feels like people that might be married and needing to leave one party and start a new relationship with another party. So there's a little bit of feeling here that maybe you've met somebody new, but you are currently in a relationship that you need to get out of first. And that's why you can't move forward. And so you are spending a lot of time and energy thinking about this. It feels like you're kind of up in your head about what you're going to be leaving behind if you want to start this new relationship. And that's what stops you, is because there's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to leave behind. If you've been married for years, you've got assets that need to get split up. But for whatever reason, this person that you have met seems to maybe, you know what? This feels like it could be a twin flame reading. Because it feels like this person that you are wanting to leave the old relationship for, you believe is going to be your happy ending sun. Good things are going to be there. Do I need any more? No, one more. Let's get one more card. All right. So you've met somebody new, but I feel like you are, yeah, you're just, there's 2 that fell out. Okay, so the 3 of Pentacles, yeah, that would be like, kind of like a partnership. I feel like that's a block. And the Emperor. Okay. Okay, let me think about this. So, okay. So the Hermit and the Eight of Swords comes together because that's you. It's like, I feel like it's you at home thinking about wanting to start something new with somebody, but you're not ready yet. And that's what you're all up in your head about is, do I want to jump off this cliff and start a new thing? Do I want to begin something, a new passionate beginning with somebody else? Right now, you are in the reverse mode of that. So it's kind of like, I feel like you're going deep within what you're going to have to give up versus what you're going to gain. You're going to gain a new beginning from this new relationship. It is going to be happier. But you're always like, I feel like this is you saying, but there's always going to be you, me, and the other person. I feel like this is like, you're like, there's always going to be you, me, and the other person in my life that I am, and I need to make everybody happy. So that feels like that's like, you're like, I've got to try to make everybody happy. Whether this is a man leaving a woman and going to another woman, or whether this is a woman leaving a man going to another man, it's like, you know, and it probably there's family involved, and you're again feeling that of like, I've got to make sure I keep everybody happy here. And the Hermit, or not the Hermit, the Emperor. So that's the, I've got to keep him happy. So for whatever reason, I guess maybe this is a female leaving a relationship and you feel like you've got to keep him happy. That could be either or. That could be the old relationship. You got to keep him happy and you got to keep the other one happy. So you got a lot of people you got to keep happy, and that's why you're stressing out about this whole thing. Okay. Whew. That's pretty deep. And this is very specific. So what emotions... The Lonely card just came up. It was flipped over, but if it's supposed to come up. Okay. So, loving is an emotion that you're going through, and I feel like that is, nope, this is about the kids. So, you're very conscious of how this is going to affect the kids, and that's one of the things that that's stopping you. Is this going to be better or worse for the kids? Is being in a new relationship with somebody that I actually love and adore, is that going to be better for the kids than me leaving my current situation where it's maybe a loveless marriage, a loveless relationship? What else is going on? Surprise. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to be surprised that you're doing this. Apparently, maybe you have had a mask on for a long time, that everything was all copacetic and happy in your relationship, and you have not been happy, and you are going to surprise a lot of people when you up and leave this. I feel like part of that surprise is you're worried about people judging you and leaving current situation and going to the new relationship. Your happiness is of far more importance to the world than keeping everybody else happy. I want to be sure and say that. Your happiness is far more important than everybody else's happiness. You cannot do the world any good at all if you are not happy and you're trying to make everybody else happy. One, they know, quit trying to be fake is what I feel like they're saying. It's like, quit trying to be fake and pretend like everything is all happy when it's not. People can feel your energy. So your mouth may be saying one thing, but people can feel your energy and they know differently. You're not fooling anybody. Encouraged fell out, but it was in the reverse position. Let me think about that. What are some of the emotions I feel like you're just like, I don't know. The depressed card. That, well, see, that goes along with you may be telling everybody that everything is okay, but inside your energy is depressed. There's another one. What else is going on? You're afraid. This was vulnerable. Either way, you're afraid to be vulnerable. Because in order for you to do what you need to do, you're going to have to let your mask down. You're going to have conversations with people about your business. I feel like you're a very private person too. And it's like you don't like everybody knowing your business. That's one of the reasons why nobody really knows how unhappy you have been in this relationship. And you don't like feeling vulnerable. You feel like that is a weakness. And you know what? Everybody feels vulnerable at times. And being authentic and vulnerable is something that people appreciate, and you need to know that. Embarrassed. You're also worried about being embarrassed. And again, you have a whole lot of judgment against yourself about this. And you're very worried about what other people are going to think about you. So it's no wonder you have stayed in a loveless or unfulfilling relationship for as long as you have, is because you have been so concerned about what other people think about you. That would make you very, very much in your masculine energy. And this is maybe going over to the Emperor, to this other person. The Empress is going to come out. You're going to finally be able to be in your Empress energy, your goddess energy. He's going to do the manly thing. You're going to do the female thing, and you're going to get back in balance again. I just did a whole video on that. And you're exhausted. I feel like that is, you're just exhausted of pretending. You're exhausted of pretending like everything is okay. You're exhausted of keeping the happy face on, of trying to hold everything together. And you're like, I just can't do it anymore. It is tearing you up inside. I also feel like it is causing physical illness, and you don't even realize that the physical illness that you have maybe manifested within your body has to do with pushing down who you really are, who you want to really be with, and changing, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to change from leaving one relationship and going to another. And that is just like got you really, really freaked out. Let me see. We're at 13 minutes. Let me think about this. What are some things that will help? Okay. So in your thought process, while you're at home thinking, let's see, what are you, I'm going to throw out a couple of these. What are some of the blocks that you need to remove in order for you to move forward? Winter, I feel like this is just about some timing issues. It's spring now, but in the winter time, you were afraid to do anything in the winter time. And separation. So that's a block for you. So I feel like you're torn, because maybe even though you don't belong in this particular relationship that you have been in all of this time, there are things that you are going to have to separate yourself from. You are going to have to separate yourself from the house that you have lived in for 15 or 20 years. You're going to have to separate yourself from some family friends. Maybe, his family, you're going to have to separate yourself from. There's just a lot of people, places, things that you're going to have to separate yourself from. And that is a block for you. And you keep thinking about, well, if I go over here, I'm going to have to leave this behind and this behind. And the pool pass is like, I feel like I'm like, the pool pass, I'm not going to have a swimming pool anymore. If I leave behind, I'm not going to have the Mercedes anymore. If I leave that behind, I'm not going to have I'm not going to have this and I'm not going to have that. And you're like, all you can focus on is all the stuff that you're going to be leaving behind. But what you need to be focusing on is what you're going to be walking towards. And I feel like that's destruction. That's a block for you because you feel like you're going to be destructing other people's lives in the process of while you try to get to where you're going. That is part of the process. I mean, that really is sometimes part of the process, is destroying old patterns and in order to step into your authenticity. This is about you stepping into your authenticity. So you have had, your whole life has been on one particular foundation, and now you're going to have to destroy that foundation in order to move into your more authentic self. There ain't no, honey, there ain't no way to get through this without destroying something. Because if you don't, all you're doing is destroying yourself. Forgiveness. You need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. This is also something that I want to say is the reason that you picked the life that you did in the beginning was 3D programming. You picked the safe person. You grew up being told this is right, this is right, this is right, this is right. So you're like, okay, well then this is the person that I'm going to marry and build a family with because this is what everybody is expecting of me. And now you've kind of come to the realization that you built your whole life on a bunch of 3D old programming that didn't make you happy. And now you're trying to get to the place where you are happy. And you need to, you need to forgive yourself for buying into that. But you also need to forgive the people that told you all of that stuff. This is right, this is right, this is right, this is right. Because they didn't know any better either. They came from old programming themselves, from their parents, from their ancestors, from the media, from the church, all of these things. Old programming is coming into play, and you are, okay, there's another one. Conclusion. I feel like this is it's kind of like, the decision has, I feel like the decision has been made in your head. In your head. You know what you need to do. But your body needs to catch up. Meaning you need to start physically doing the actions that need to be done to make the move from old life to new life. You need to start telling people. You need to start telling your spouse. You need to have that conversation of, I want a divorce. You need to go look at apartments of where you're going to live. You need to start physically doing the things that you need to do to make that walk forward to the next life. The first step is going to be the hardest, is what I'm hearing. The first step is going to be the hardest. And that's probably telling your spouse, but I think this is what I'm also hearing, is they're going to be a lot less surprised than you think they are, because I think they are probably not happy either. And you've both had a mask on, and you both have been living a lie, and it's going to be more of a relief for that person than you think it is. So I want you to keep that in mind. This is not going to be as devastating to everybody as you think it is, which is good news. Okay. What last words of advice does the universe have for you? Commitment. This is, I feel like this is saying, is be committed to yourself. And I also feel like that is, this is you and the other person, or this is you getting into equal divine and like feminine and masculine energy within yourself. it feels like, okay, so this feels like you need to be making a commitment to get into balance, because that just feels like that's very balanced with the swans. They're equal, they're balanced, they're the same. You need to make a commitment to getting yourself into balance, because you have been very out of balance for a very long time. That's why you're physically sick. That's why you're unhappy. That's, there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to happen to get yourself into balance, but the first step needs to be taken. Maturity. I feel like that's also, they're saying, handle this with maturity and have a mature conversation. And I also feel like there's like this wise man standing over the top of this girl. She's writing a letter or something. So maybe, okay, so maybe writing a letter. All right. I feel like maybe that's what it's saying, is writing a letter, a mature letter to the people that you need to have conversations to. One, sometimes just writing a letter is much easier, because you're not going to have your emotions and be bawling your head off when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody. But have that letter ready when you go in to have the conversation. Say what you need to say. Kind of keep your emotions out of it. I feel like that's what they're saying, is like write a letter of what you need to tell everybody. If you have kids, if you have a spouse, write a letter of why you're doing what you're doing, instead of having that saying, we need to talk, and then trying to get everything out as you're sobbing your head off. We know that's not going to work, and you're not going to get everything out. So I feel like that is saying write a letter and then do it. Okay, what else do you have to say to the universe, or what does the universe have to say to you about this situation? Dating. I feel like that's saying, I feel like that's going, what is that saying? I feel like that's saying you need to make sure you heal before you start dating. Heal before you start dating again. So you're going to come out of this a wounded princess. And you need to make sure you're fully healed before you jump into the dating pool again. Just FYI. Even though you may have met somebody else, you need to make sure that that you are fully healed, and you need to make sure that that person will still be there if that's the right person. If you take some time to heal because you are coming from one relationship and going into another one, it may not be the best decision ever if you don't heal yourself first. So don't jump out of one relationship unhealed into another one as an unhealed person. Make sure you heal all your wounds first, or you're going to end up with the same situation as you did before, going into a relationship for all the wrong reasons, and you don't want to do that. Let's get one more card. Inner peace. Yeah, that kind of goes along with get your inner peace first before you start dating again. Otherwise, you're just going to jump out of one relationship into another one, and it's not going to do anybody any good. Okay. Okay, so this was for I've lost track of my dates. Mid-April. I will see you guys 1st of May. Thanks. Bye.